An active shooter has just entered the room where you are located and opened fire. The next 5 minutes may determine whether you live or die. What do you do? Your first priority should be to remain calm. Take a deep breath, identify an exit route, and escape if you can. Running away in a zigzag pattern will make it harder for the shooter to target you. If you can't escape, then hiding is your next best option. Hide in an adjacent room if possible and lock the door. If there is no lock, then barricade the door to prevent the shooter from entering. Do not attempt to block the door with your body unless you absolutely have to. Bullets can pass through wood and some steel doors. Use objects of furniture to barricade the door if they are present. Turn off any lights, lie quietly, and dial 911 if doing so does not reveal your position to the shooter. If escape is not possible and there are no adjacent rooms, then hiding in your current location may be your best option. Lie flat on the ground to minimize your profile. Lie quietly and pretend to be injured. Use available chairs, furniture, or other objects to hide behind and protect your vital organs. At this point, you may want to consider an active versus passive response. If you do not wish to confront the shooter, then a passive response is your best option. During a passive response, lie quietly, flat on the ground, and diminish your profile to the shooter as much as possible. Remain motionless and protect your vital organs. The shooter may move off in another direction or at least pass you by. If you opt for an active response, you have chosen to confront the shooter. Gather objects that can be thrown at the shooter to disrupt their targeting capability. Gather other items that may be useful in shielding you from a bullet. Movable furniture, backpacks, computer bags, and briefcases are all useful items. Protect your vital organs. If possible, join with others. If you join with others, attack the shooter from multiple directions. When approaching the shooter, run in a zigzag pattern to make targeting more difficult. Barrage the shooter with small objects that you have gathered. Once you arrive at the shooter, direct all of your energy at disarming and subduing the shooter. Most importantly, attempt to gain control of the arm or hand that is holding the weapon. You are now engaged in hand-to-hand combat. The use of deadly force is authorized. Your tactics at this point can include punching, kicking, gouging the eyes, biting, pulling hair, stabbing with pointed objects such as pens, pencils, dinnerware, pocket knives, striking the shooter with belts or heavy objects such as books, chairs, and computers, or any combination of the above. If the opportunity presents itself, breaking bones in the fingers, hands, and arms is an excellent way to subdue or disarm the shooter. Do not be submissive and compassionate. This individual is trying to kill you, and you are defending your right to live. You must do everything within your power to survive. Commit yourself to the attack. Be creative. Think and use the resources available to you. If you attack with others and subdue the shooter, place your weight on them to keep them from fighting free. Active shooters do not expect to confront active resistance. Often, when confronted with resistance, they abandon their attack and move off in another direction. Some commit suicide, especially if confronted with armed resistance. Understand that if you elect to confront an active shooter threat, you are exposing yourself to the possibility that you will be injured. Critical points to remember. The most important thing you can do to increase your chances of surviving an active shooter incident is to conduct surveillance of rooms as you enter them. Identify at least 2 escape routes and sit as close to one as possible. Make sure it is unlocked. Identify those objects that can be used as shields and make sure they are accessible. Determine in advance how you will respond, either with passive or active resistance. Then rehearse your response plan mentally. Active shooter incidents are very dynamic. Most are over within 5 minutes. Therefore, all of the information contained in this presentation should be mentally rehearsed prior to an actual incident. Decisions regarding passive versus active resistance should be part of this mental rehearsal so that during an actual incident they become automatic. There is no information contained in this PowerPoint that can or will guarantee your survival during an active shooter incident. The tactics and information presented here are designed solely to increase your chances of survival. Active Shooter 5 Minutes to Live is a copyright production of Kip Mecum Consulting, LLC. The unauthorized reproduction, distribution, duplication, copying, or public-private presentation of this material without the express written consent of Kip Mecum Consulting, LLC is prohibited. All rights reserved.